We've got a voicemail number. That number is 219-2-DAVID-P. Let's take a listen to this voicemail that came in overnight.
Hello, David. This is Fred from Florida, and I'm commenting on, is it worth trying to change those people's minds, those Trumpers? I'm a 70-year-old man, and I work 2 part-time jobs to be able to pay my bills. And I was talking to a customer in Panera one day, and I said something about having to work until I can't walk anymore. And she got very uppity, put her hands on her hips and stared at me, and she said, "Don't you dare criticize the Republicans for anything." There's no point in talking to folks like this at all.
Listen, 2 thoughts.
Thanks, David.
Number one, how guilty of a conscience must you have that when you hear someone say, "I'm going to have to work until I can't walk anymore," they interpret it as a criticism of Republicans, right? Because if the story is as you told it, you didn't mention Republicans. How guilty was that woman's conscience about what Republicans are doing to the economy if that's immediately what her mind meant to? But I do want to say one other thing, because every time I say it's not worth trying to convince Trump voters, you should try to win elections by getting people to vote who didn't vote. People get mad and they say, "David, you're not encouraging debate." I want to be 100% clear, okay? I encourage debate on the program. I invite guests with dissenting opinions from mine, and we debate ideas. We have phone callers on, and they are allowed to say whatever they want, and many of them disagree with me, and we debate ideas. I encourage you to debate ideas for education and learning and edification and for the furthering of critical thinking and thought. What I'm telling you is, if you've got a specific election that you're working on, if it's against the re-election of Donald Trump or a Senate race or whatever, it is a much more effective use of your time, given that you don't have an unlimited number of hours in the day, to focus on getting non-voters to the polls who you don't need to convince politically, who already agree with you. That is way more effective and easier than starting to go point counterpoint with committed Trump ideologues who are not going to be convinced by facts. We know the work of Daniel Kahneman. We know the work of Dan Ariely. They will not be convinced by facts. It is a combination of cognitive dissonance with the reality that trying to be talked out of views furthers often your sort of steadfastness in adhering to those views. So from an election strategy standpoint, I encourage you to work on get out the vote, not on debating Trumpists. In your personal life, for education, in college, on programs, let's have debates. I've always had debates, and I encourage it. On today's bonus show, Soylent meal replacement drinks have been halted in terms of sales in Canada because regulators say it calls itself a meal replacement, but it is not a meal replacement according to their standards. Twitter is going to start labeling political posts, political ads with who bought them and how much they spent. And we'll also talk about both Alaska senators saying to Donald Trump, "No, no, no, please don't change the name of Mount Denali back to Mount McKinley." Those stories and more on today's bonus show. 2 ways to get the bonus show. Number 1, davidpakman.com/membership. Number 2, patreon.com/davidpakmanshow. Both ways to get access to the bonus show. Sign up, contribute today, and we'll speak to you then.